Most people make decisions regarding vehicles emotionally. They walk into a dealership, they see a beautiful vehicle, they imagine themselves driving it, then they ask a dangerous question: can I afford the monthly payment? But this is the wrong question. The correct question is, does this vehicle create economic value relative to keeping my current vehicle? In this video, we're going to build a framework that allows us to answer that question using the same valuation techniques used in corporate finance, capital budgeting, and investment analysis. I'm going to use discounted cash flow analysis because at the end of the day, a vehicle purchase is an investment decision. When evaluating a vehicle purchase, we are not buying a car. We are buying future fuel costs, future maintenance costs, future repairs, future financing costs, future depreciation. The vehicle itself is simply the mechanism that generates those future cash flows. This means the decision can be evaluated exactly like any other investment project. The framework becomes NPV of buying new versus keeping current vehicle. The comparison is not new car versus nothing. The comparison is new car versus existing car. The framework consists of 5 major components. Step 1, calculate the net upfront investment. The formula for net investment is the purchase price minus the trade-in value. This represents the cash required today. Step 2, estimate annual fuel savings. The formula for annual fuel savings will be your current fuel cost minus new vehicle fuel cost. And if you're using an electric vehicle, you'll have to calculate what the kilowatt hour dollar amount is on an annual basis, and this is going to be an estimate. Step 3, estimate annual maintenance savings. The formula here is equal to the current maintenance minus the new vehicle maintenance. So obviously, if your vehicle is a little bit older, your current maintenance is going to be higher, and your new vehicle maintenance should be zero for, or very minimal for the first couple of years, and then it should start rising. Step 4, estimate the vehicle's future resale value. At the end of the analysis period, the vehicle still has value, and that value represents a future cash inflow. So let's say that you're going to plan on keeping this vehicle for, 7 years. Then at the 7th year, you're going to recognize what the value is estimated to be at that point in time. Step 5, you're going to discount everything back to today. The standard net present value framework becomes NPV is equal to negative I naught. I naught is the net upfront investment, okay, and it's a negative because it's a cash outflow, plus the sum of the cash flows at the various times, plus the terminal value, which is the resale value at, time 7 if it's the 7th year. If the net present value is positive, the purchase creates economic value. If the NPV is negative, keeping the current vehicle is financially superior. And you'll have to also use a discount rate, R, in the formula to be able to discount all of these cash flows. So let's work through an example here. Assume the following situation. Current vehicle trade-in value is about $5,000. Your fuel costs are $3,500 per year, which is approximately $300 per month. The maintenance is $2,500 per year. The new vehicle purchase price we'll assume is $35,000. The fuel cost is $1,800 per year, so that's roughly $150 per month, and the maintenance is $500 per year. The planning horizon, 10 years, and we're going to use a discount rate of 7%. The estimated resale value after 10 years, so we're going to use 10 years as the useful life, is going to be $10,000. So you can get $10,000 at the end of the time period. So step 1, net upfront investment. The purchase price is $35,000 minus the trade-in, which is $5,000. That net investment is $30,000. Step 2, the annual fuel savings. We take $3,500, which is the current state, minus the $1,800, which is the future state, and that's equal to $1,700 annually. Step 3, the annual maintenance savings. We have $2,500 minus the $500, and that is equal to $2,000. Now again, this is an assumption, obviously, as the new car ages, that $500 will increase. So you need to make certain assumptions, maybe increasing it from $500 to $2,500 over the 10 years. So, that's $2,000 over 10 years. Increase it by $200 each year. Step 4, total annual savings. $1,700 plus $2,000 is equal to $3,700 per year. Now let's look at the present value of annual savings. The annuity formula is equal to the present value is equal to the payment times 1 minus 1 plus r in brackets raised to the negative n divided by r close bracket. Okay, so we'll just plug in the numbers. Substituting for the payment of $3,700, that's the annual savings, using the discount rate of 7% for R, and using 10 for the number of periods, the present value savings is approximately $25,985. The present value of the resale value is equal to the future value divided by 1 plus R raised to the n. If we plug in the future value of 10,000 and we use the 1 plus 7% raised to 10, the exponent 10, we get the present value of the resale, 5,083. That means that the total present value is equal to the sum of 25,985 and 5,083. That's equal to $31,068. So, net present value is equal to $31,068 minus $30,000, which was that initial investment, and that equals positive $1,068. So based on the assumptions, the vehicle purchase creates approximately $1,100 of economic value. In this scenario, buying the new vehicle is economically justified, not because it feels better, but because it is newer. Not because it has more features, because the discounted value of future savings exceeds the investment required. Most people focus on monthly payments, financing approval, interest rates, emotional attachment. But the economic decision is determined by the purchase price, the trade-in value, the fuel savings, the maintenance savings, the resale value, and the time value of money. The vehicle is simply a machine that converts today's investment into future cash flows. And once you see vehicles that way, you begin making decisions like an investor rather than a consumer. Before buying your next vehicle, build the cash flow model. Estimate the savings, discount them back to today, compare them against the investment required. Because the goal is not to own the newest vehicle, the goal is to allocate capital where it creates the most value. And that is exactly how investors think. Include here is the Excel document, and this is how you'd want to structure it with your cash outflow investment at the top. It's the only cash outflow, and then your cash inflows, which includes initially at time 0, the salvage value of the current vehicle, the trade-in, and then you'd want to include all of your fuel savings, maintenance costs, and these are the savings between your current state and your state with the car, okay? So what you'll do is you'll sum all of these savings, and then you have to calculate using the discount factor. You'll have to calculate the present value of each of those flows. The first one will be negative because there's a negative outflow, and there's no discounting because it's at time 0. But all of the other ones from year 1 to year 10, those are all going to be discounted by their discount rate, which is essentially multiplying the value of savings times the discount rate. That gives you the present value of all of those cash flows. And then you sum all of them up, including the negative at the beginning. And as you can see, you have a positive amount. And if that amount is positive, then based on the assumptions, you can conclude that this is a project that you should green light. Or in other words, in this particular case, this is a car decision that you should make based on purely the economic value. Now, for the discerning individual, this is a great way to set everything up, because your judgment is going to determine the decision that you make. Everything hinges on the assumptions that you make. So if your assumptions are good, and in this case we have maintenance just flat, the savings from maintenance, but that is an assumption, and it may be true and it may not be true. Same thing with the fuel costs. I mean, do you really know what the fuel costs are going to be? What if you buy an electric vehicle and the kilowatt hour rate stays constant, but the fuel costs increase? Well, then your fuel savings would have been greater, and the likelihood of that project being, or that car decision being net present value positive is even more. So many, many different assumptions have to be made, and that's what makes this type of analysis very challenging. But despite its challenges, it still has value in doing it, because you can ask yourself, how realistic are these assumptions?